Hi, everyone. It's Amy Collins from New Shelves and Bestseller Builders. Thank you so much for joining us today. We turned things on a minute or so early just so we can get you all into the room. The room is filling up. It looks like we've got a couple hundred people signed up just for today's webinar. I am really excited about it because I have been using Debbie Drum's products for several years. I was one of the first people to use her Book Connect. I love, love, love her book review stuff. The woman really knows how to simplify and streamline the process about getting reviews. She really gets it. She understands how important reviews are. So again, it's Amy Collins here. I see, Alex and Alan Livingston. Alan, I was just about to email you. I've got your alanlivingston.com email here that I've been meaning to reach out to you and say hi. I see a bunch of you on. We're going to go silent for about 10, 15 seconds, and then we're going to launch properly. Sherry, it's so good to see all of you. All right, so just give me 2 seconds and I'm going to get started and welcome all of you to this. It's going to be a fantastic session. Hello and welcome to Turn Every Book into a Bestseller. My name is Amy Collins and I am thrilled to be here with Debbie Drum. Debbie Drum is a longtime industry pal of mine. Daniel Hall introduced us several years ago, and her book review project, it's one of my favorites. And in the last few years, I've been using something she's got called Book Connect that I adore. So Debbie and I were talking, and she told me that she and her partner, Jonathan, actually have a class on using book reviews and how to launch a book properly. And you guys know I'm all about marketing. I know writing is your favorite, but marketing is my favorite. So I asked Debbie to come on and talk to you guys about this. As Debbie and Jonathan go through the slides and teach us all about how to properly launch a book, you're going to have questions. I know you're going to have questions. So I would ask you, for those of you who are watching this either on your iPhone or on your computer, look at the toolbar and look for a button that says Q&A. That's for question and answer. And if you can find the Q&A button, I would love it if you would type a 1 or a 2 or a 3, I don't care, but type a 1 into the Q&A so that I know that you guys, Bird found it first. That's fantastic. Now, if you guys can hear me okay, I would like you to type a number 2 into the Q&A. Would you guys be willing to type a number 2 for me so I can make sure I'm coming through loud and clear? Dorothy says I am. All right. And all right. So Debbie and Jonathan, do you want to do a quick mic check before we get started?
Hello, hello.
Can you guys hear Debbie? Throw a number 3 into the Q&A box. Perfect. And Jonathan, last but not least.
I'm here. Can you hear me?
If you guys can hear Jonathan, I want you to type a number 10 in, because Jonathan is clearly a 10. He was just telling us a story where he referred to himself as a 10, because he was the better looking one in his relationship he was explaining. Perfect. All right, guys. Debbie, I can't believe it's already time for Book Expo America again. Everyone is, and it was last year, and I think the year before, you and I would connect at Book Expo, and it was always great seeing you. So even though I'm not in New York and we're not seeing each other in person this time, I'm glad we're getting to do it virtually. How are you today?
I am awesome and so excited to be here today.
All right. Well, thank you for spending the time. Guys, this will be available on a replay. So if there's any technical difficulties or you need anything, just go to the chat box, the Q&A. Please feel free to drop questions into the Q&A. I will be monitoring those questions. And at the end of the session, I will make sure that I ask all of them of Debbie and Jonathan. They have committed to sticking around until all the questions are answered. And I really appreciate that, guys. That's wonderful. So Debbie, with that, I would ask you to tell me a little bit about you and Jonathan, and why don't you take it from here?
Thank you so much. And thanks again, Amy, for hosting us. We love your crowd. And and that was awesome bumping into you at Book Expo. That was great. I love connecting with you. You always shed so much wisdom about the book world to me, so I appreciate that. So before I get into me, I'm going to kick this over to my buddy Jonathan. He's going to start this presentation off, and we're going to talk about everything that you have to do to become a bestseller and stay there for every single book that you publish.
Guys, I'm so excited to be here. I'm glad to be spending time together. Me and Debbie have some really exciting stuff to share with you, so we appreciate you spending your time with us. But as we get started, I want to start with a question to make sure that we're kind of dialed in, so to make sure that my message and Debbie's message meets your needs. So I just wanted to ask you a question. And that question is, what was the name of the last book you purchased or read? And so here you can see the last book I read was Death Angel by Kevin Eikenberry. And as one of my ex-girlfriends once told me, if a book has a robot on the cover, I'll probably read it. And what I want you to think about as you type in the answers of your books, I'm seeing some cool names, Woodstruck, The Gates of Golorod. These all sound like books I would read, definitely. Please share them in the Q&A because I am looking, and I'd love to see it. We see Shadowspell Academy went, oh, I've read that. That's great. That's a good choice as well. That's kind of exploding right now. Robichaux. Okay, some of you guys are on the same wavelength as me. I love it. A lot of you guys like fantasy and science fiction, which is what I love. And I'm also seeing some classic books from some of you guys that are a little bit smarter than me. Amazing. And what I want you to think about as we go forward is, did you read a review of the book or look at the rating before placing your order? Because I want to think about how we act as consumers. It's often easy to get caught up in how we act as authors and kind of we think about things from that direction, right? But I want you to think about what it's like as a consumer and as a reader. And that's really going to feed what we do as we go forward. So please let me know. Just write in your answers. Do you read the reviews? Do you just look at the rating? Or do you just, if you like the cover, you grab it? Because I'd love to know that, because that helps you to understand how you guys behave as a consumer. Some of you read a sample. Oh, wow, John did not. He didn't read a review, just the book and a little excerpt. That's great. So this lets me know that, yeah, a lot of us, we either read the reviews, sometimes read an excerpt. But we kind of have a similar process for our buying decisions. Now, I do think that your time is valuable. So Debbie and me put together a special bonus called Debbie's Passive Income Hotspot. And what this is about is actually how you can release your books on other platforms outside of Amazon to generate passive income. One of the great things that started my relationship with Debbie was she told me, you have to put some of your books on iTunes, and here's why. And she told me which books to do, what changes to make, and how to generate passive income. And I'm not active on iBooks at all. I'm not chasing reviews on there. I'm not proactive there. I just uploaded a few books, and she was right. I get additional income. And that's just one of the things she taught me. And she covers it all in this really cool special bonus. We're going to give you guys at the end, just for staying and hanging out with us, a way of saying thank you. Your time is so valuable. And I want you to know that we appreciate you spending with us. That means a lot to me. And so we're giving you this awesome gift. Just stay to the end. We'll give you a link at the end. Awesome, amazing training. And it affected my life. And I know it can help you to increase your revenue as an author as well. So guys, thank you so much for being awesome. And we want to kind of think about this big question, which is, how do you want to leave your mark on the world? How can you get your voice heard around the world? And what have you done that will last? See, we want to achieve significance. We want to do things that really matter. And I want this question. You don't have to answer in the chat box. You can if you want to, obviously. But this is just an idea I want swirling in the back of your head as we go forward. Now, Amy and Debbie are really, really good friends, and Debbie and me are really good friends. So I wanted to a little bit introduce myself. Now, you guys may have heard my son just woke up in the background. I'm fortunate enough that I'm able to work from home, and that means that the babies are always near me. I'm always in the same room as my kids, which I love. In 2010, I was fired from my job as the head of a department at one of the top 20 universities in the United States. I was in charge of a $1.5 million budget at the age of 29, and I'd peaked in my career. There was literally no job higher for me to move towards. I was done with my career advancement after 10 years in the educational industry. I'd started out teaching middle school, then went to high school, then went to college, and now I was running a program in charge of 6 other teachers. And from there, losing my job after the craziest weekend of my life, I had the new job. I was so excited. I was peaking in my career. I said, this is it. I can start making mature decisions. I signed a lease on a new apartment. I bought a new car. And Monday, I drove to work during a snowstorm. It was an absolute blizzard. I said, I'm dedicated. I have to show up because I'm the head of the department. My new car is slipping and sliding. Imagine crashing your new car 2 days after buying it. But I was that dedicated. I walked into my office and they fired me. Couldn't believe it. Had to drive back home through a snowstorm. And I said, I never want to feel that way again. And from there, I started working as a ghostwriter, began taking jobs writing for other people. Eventually, I became a best-selling author. And now I'm a coach, and I help other authors, and I help work with other amazing people. And that's kind of how Debbie and me connected with each other. And now I live in paradise. You saw one picture of me earlier, but I do think a picture is worth more than 1,000 words. So here's my family. This is not us on vacation. This is our front yard. And what I want you to see is that every video I record, every picture I take, there's palm trees, because that's where we live. I was able to move to a tropical island in the South Pacific. So for me, it's actually the middle of the night, which means Debbie's always worried that the internet or the power cut out to my island. I have fingers crossed that that won't happen. But that's where I live. I was able to turn my dream into reality. And now I live on the beach. And when was the last time I was swimming in the ocean with my kids? Earlier today. Every single day, I'm either surfing or swimming or paddleboarding with my kids. And that's what I always dreamed of. My one regret as a child is that my dad worked so hard, and I knew he was trying to give us a great life. I said, I just wish he was around more. And that's the kind of dad I always wanted to be. And fortunately, authorship has allowed that to happen for me. And in addition to showing my family, I can show you that I've written a lot of books that have been really, really successful. My first really big success was called Potty Training. Now, I had to write it under a lady's name because guess what? No one wants to learn potty training from daddy. This was a story of me potty training my daughter. And that turned into a bestseller, was #1 in potty training for a year and a half. And from there, I began to enter other categories, everything from parenting and relationships and mate seeking, stress management, and social anxiety, and 90-minute self-help short reads. And then one day, I even had 2 books. They were in the top 10, my 2 flagship books, Serve No Master and Control Your Fate. These are books that were about how to take control of your financial destiny, basically how to get fired, start your own business, and move to a tropical island. It's really the core of what I was teaching my audience. And things got even better because one day my book was #2 on all of Amazon. I beat out J.K. Rowling for just a short period of time. Obviously, in the long run, she beat me. And that day I was flying home. I'd actually had lunch with Debbie the day earlier. I was flying home from America at a conference to my island. And I said, J.K. Rowling, please, in your beneficence, spare my plane. And she was kind enough to. So she forgave me for accidentally outranking her book for a single day. But this got me on everyone's radar. And it even got me an email from a rep at Amazon. I didn't even know these people existed. When I got this email, I thought it was fake. I said, oh my gosh, no one has an @amazon.com email address. This is suspicious. And they said, we love your book, Serve No Master, so much. We saw it was #2. We want to talk to you and we want to do other amazing things for you. And this began an amazing relationship for me. And so all these things show you, I want you to see who I am, where I come from, and that authorship has really changed my life. I went from fired in a snowstorm to living on a tropical island. But let's learn a little bit more about my amazing partner and really good friend, Debbie.
Thank you so much, Jonathan. I, too, am very passionate about selling books. I started selling books in 2011, and it was the very first way I just started making actual money online. And I was working a full-time job, and at the time, I was writing a book a week. And I had kind of a system going on where I would publish one book to, I think, like 5 different places. So I would publish it to Amazon. I would publish it to CreateSpace, which is now just Amazon, right? So I'd have the physical book. Then I'd publish the book to iTunes and Google Play and some others. And that's how I got really into publishing into different platforms. It's kind of a passion of mine, right? Because some of my books do better on other platforms than they do on Amazon, to tell you the truth. So I have some secrets there. But as I was writing books, the salesperson in me was like, oh, I'm finding success in writing books, so let me share my wisdom to anyone who will listen to me. And I got into like developing products and digital products on every aspect of publishing books. And in 2012, I started to write fiction. I only wrote fiction, I think I wrote like 3 books, and it was under a pen name. And at the time, I was like, you know what? I don't want to ask my friends for reviews. I don't want to ask my family or people on Facebook just to write me a review so it looks like I have reviews. I really want feedback for the books that I'm writing. I want to know if real people dig my book or if they hate it, right? So I started to do some digging around Amazon, and I learned the process of finding these targeted reviewers. So I was looking at competing books in my niche, And I was asking them and reaching out to these people and saying, hey, if you like this book, then you might like my book because it's in the same niche and genre. And that's how I was connecting with a lot of reviewers. And I was like, wow, there has to be a way that I can automate this process, because doing this pointing and clicking and, you know, making spreadsheets of people and taking forever to just find the contact information, is there a way that this can be automated? And I built that solution. At the time, we called it Publishers Review Accelerator, and then 2 years later, that turned into Book Review Targeter. And that software has evolved over time with the changing of the industry, with Amazon changing it and forcing us to change and forcing us to get better at what we're doing. And all these changes are good for us. And you can't really beat the system anymore, which we're gonna talk about here in this presentation. So, and this is also another picture of me. I also love playing pickleball. I'm not fighting swords like Jonathan said it looks like I'm doing. This is my favorite pastime, so that's what I'm striving to do anytime I can when I'm not doing the whole book thing and the product thing. So now it's about you. I want you to please type into the questions box. Maybe somebody can help me with the answers. Why do we write? Let me know. Put in the questions. Why do you write? What inspires you? What's the reason behind the reason why you spend hours upon hours at that computer and doing the research and wanting to publish your book so bad? Let me know. Please share it with me. If somebody could read the responses, that would be great. I know that they're coming in.
Yeah, we're seeing some amazing things. I'm passionate about sharing my point of view on smart women. I'm driven to write. I can't not write. I need an outlet for my vast imagination to share an inspirational message, to keep a character who may be based on a real person alive forever. Wow, bro, that's intense. I love it. I'm a retired psychiatrist. I want to help people more, just like I helped patients before. I love it. I enjoy writing. I need to tell my story. And I need to tell a story people will read and want to ask for more. I have a passion for storytelling.
Awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah.
There's so many great answers flying in. I love it.
Amazing. Yeah. I mean, I'll tell you the reasons why I write, and it's because of all different, it depends on what I'm writing, and there's a new reason why. And a lot of us share the same values here, because I want to help people too, but we write because we want to be that authority figure, right? That go-to person for whatever it is that we help people with. We want to make some money, right? That would be pretty darn cool, right? Get that security and some fame, some that reputation behind whatever it is that we're doing online. You know, you say, hey, I'm a best-selling author. I'm a USA best-selling author, USA Today best-selling author, Wall Street Journal best-selling author. Like, that gives you some respect, right? And then a lot of us here, we say we want to tell our story, our passions, and it's all kind of rolled up into one. And we get so excited about it. When we hit that publish button, we are so darn proud. But unfortunately, there is a problem that we're seeing, and it's that passion conundrum. And it's similar to, if you find the cure for a disease, but nobody takes it, have you made a difference? And if you write a great book, but nobody reads it, does it actually matter? And this used to really, really get me, because I would say, oh, my book is so much better than this book that's clearly making more sales than I am, that's clearly has more reviews than my book does. And what's the problem? See, at the end of the day, right, this is always going to happen at the end of the day, is that the better marketer is going to win out, going to beat the books that might be better inside, but the better marketer is going to win at the end of the day. They're going to make more money. They're going to make more sales. They're going to have the better reputation. And it's just not fair, right? And we need to step up our game and become and know what it takes. What is the process to become that one that is the bestseller and that's getting all the sales? and all that great stuff that comes behind it, right? So share with me, please, what you think the big problem is. What's the main reason why you think most books fail? Let me know. Inside the question, let me know, because we're going to tell you right here, because there are some missing pieces and some missing components that we see all the time. We work with authors every single day.
Marketing, discoverability, too much competition, poor marketing. Indie books aren't edited properly and they're poor quality. Lack of marketing, not well written, boring subjects, poor publicity, poor marketing.
Yeah. So yeah, and marketing is a general term, right? Because now to understand marketing, you need to really be specific, right? You need to kind of niche out and be like, okay, I'm going to market my book, but what is the pathway to market? And this is what we see, kind of the missing pieces of books that fail. Lack of social proof. That's the reviews right there. You cannot sell a book without a minimum number of reviews, just like you can't sell a product without testimonials. The other day, I was on Brian Tracy's list, right? And I get an email from him, and he says, hey, we're going to give you something free if you give me a testimonial. If Brian Tracy needs a testimonial, that means that we need testimonials too. Okay, this is not something that's going away. This is not something that you can avoid if you're an author. It needs to be done. Lack of visibility, right? That's part of the marketing. Lack of a professional system to get reviews, right? If we're just willy-nilly reaching out to our friends and we don't really have a professional system and an outreach and a kind of a schedule and things outlined and our process outlined on how to get reviews, it's just not going to happen. Not building a following, that goes along with like your email list and social media. No professional system to deliver your books and your content. So if you actually do find the people and you get in front of people who want to read your book, but you're like, oh, I'll send you a PDF through the email, or how do you want it? It's not really a professional process that you have. And again, no system, no process to generate that visibility. All right. Those are the main reasons. And it doesn't matter, unfortunately, how good your book is if nobody buys it. And we're seeing this now more than ever, now that our time is our time has always been valuable, but now we have time for nothing, right? So nobody is going to be the first one to try a book no matter how good your description is, no matter how good your cover is. They're not going to take your word for it. They're going to take other people's words for it, other strangers' words for it. And they're not even going to try your book, even if it's free. So now I'm going to go ahead and pass this over to Jonathan. He's going to tell you some of his review hurdles and woes.
There's basically 3 big hurdles that stop each of us as an author from transitioning from writing to selling. And the first is just finding anyone to review the book. Then the second is getting them to actually read the book once they promise they're going to do that. And then the third is getting them to leave a hopefully positive actual review. And if you've launched a book before, and I know not all of us have, some of us are working on our first book or planning our first book, but when I hit all of these, it kind of blew my mind. I thought it would be so easy with my first book launch, but it absolutely wasn't. And later on in the presentation, I'm going to show you the exact numbers of my first book and how long it took me to earn back my investment. But let's go through these steps in a little more detail. The first step is finding reviewers. Now, the most common thing everyone tries is friends and family. And I gave out copies of my first book to all my friends and families and business partners, people that I'd made a lot of money with and who I'd worked with, my brothers, my sisters and their husbands, my brothers-in-laws, my parents, all these people that had been in my life for a long time. And guess what? Only one of them left a review after 30 days. It was such a heartache because I thought, oh my gosh, these people love me. And I discovered people would rather just buy your book than have to give you time. They'd rather give you money than time. And also more and more platforms, beginning with Amazon, don't allow you to have reviews from them. It's against the rules anyways. They delete them. So we try searching for Amazon and finding people that have reviewed different books. And we're trying to find those reviewers. And Fortunately, Debbie built that book review targeter software, which really helped me to begin to find people that like similar books, or we look for blogs. And the honest truth is that the majority of authors depend upon luck. Now, as I showed you guys earlier, guess what? I read a lot of science fiction. And when I'm looking for books, I look at all the new releases in the last 30 days, and I sort by how many books have one review or more. 90% of the books disappear every single month. 90% of books can't even get this step. And then, of course, we have step 2, which is delivering the book. This has actually been a headache for me for a long time. So then you say, hey, let me send you a copy of my book. And they go, great. I have a Kobo from 2012. I'm like, oh my goodness, what format is that? And we have to look it up, or I have to look it up. And is it a .azw or a .mobi or a .epub or something else, or a PDF? And then I have to send in the right format. And I discovered over and over again, I would constantly have to teach people how to install a .mobi file on their Kindle. And I have a blog post. It's actually one of my most popular blog posts. Is a step-by-step process of how you can add a book to your own Kindle. That's how important it is, and that's how hard it is for people. So I was constantly trying to help people, and then I try and gift the book, and it became this massive headache, all these different systems. So if I gift someone the book inside of Amazon, I have to pay for it. Or even worse is when people would ask me for a physical copy of the book, and this happens to me when I have for my coloring books and some of my other physical books, my journals. I go, oh, now I got to spend $10 or $20 to send a book to someone who probably won't even leave me a review. Because even if I get the book to someone and it's a format they can handle, and let me tell you something, if you give someone a book and they can't get it onto their device, they're already mad at you. They're already probably going to write a negative review. And you don't want to start off on the wrong foot. And of course, you get to step 3 where it's still harder. And this is, did they actually even leave a review? And so you have to crack out a spreadsheet, which I am terrible at. Spreadsheets are my kryptonite. They're my greatest weakness. And I try all the time. Okay, I use spreadsheets throughout my business, and a big part of it is tracking reviewers and partners and everything I'm working on. And you have to ask people to tell you when they've left a review. So either you check your book every day looking for new reviews, and then you have to figure out the difference between someone's name and email address and their Amazon nickname to see if they left. On other platforms, it's even harder because they have crazier nicknames everywhere else. And you're constantly manually checking. You have to update the spreadsheet, or you keep messaging them, hey, did they review it? Did they review it? Did they review it? And guess what? It's absolutely annoying. And it's a great way to turn people against you. And what I've discovered, having written many, many books, even with hundreds of reviews for my books, and I have some books with over 300 reviews, it's been a nightmare. For every single new book I launch, I have to create a new spreadsheet, build a new contact list, do new tracking, and I always feel a step behind. And it's really been hard for me. And actually, as I've had released more books, it's gotten harder. And the truth is, the traditional process sucks, and that's why I asked Debbie to build Book Connect, which she's going to share with us in just a moment. And let me give you a quick overview of this amazing software. Here's what's beautiful about it. It's a platform that's designed to handle all of these problems. The first is it helps to deliver books in the correct format. For me, it's like a breath of fresh air. I don't have to walk people through try to install a book on their device before, because many of us have never done that. Most of us, we buy our book on Amazon, we buy our book on iTunes, and then it's on our phone or our tablet or our book, and we're ready to go. And also, it generates reviews automatically. All that follow-up, it handles it and tracks it. And it's beautiful because it will connect with readers and generate leads while you're sleeping. It'll manage your street team professionally, and it's equivalent of a full-time review star. And I had one of those. I had a full-time person I was paying a full-time salary for just to manage my books and generate reviews. And I can tell you right now that in 6 months of where the reviews are, I had less reviews than I've gotten in just 1 month of Book Connect. It's worked that well for me. And that's why I'm so excited for this amazing demonstration that Debbie's going to share with us right now. She's going to show us exactly how amazing the software works.
All right, thank you. Let me just switch over here to get it up for you. And just a little bit bigger. All right, and here is a demo of Book Connect. So let me walk you through a demo of Book Connect. And as you can see here, the top menu, it goes in order of what you should be doing each time you set up a new book. So the first step would be to add an author, then you add your book, then you make a download page, then you make your author page, then you set up for mailing. And we're gonna go through all these in this demo right now. So the very first thing I'm gonna do is add an author, and you can add your own name, you can add a pen name, whatever it is you want. Adding an author is so easy. Here's how to do it. So let's just say Stacy Smith, Stacy at stacysmith.com, and P. StacyRocks.com. Rocks.com. Save author. Okay? So now we are done with that. The next step is to now add your book or product. So I'm going to go ahead and add. And let's say we could choose, let's choose me. And then we can choose a list of where we want to communicate with these people. So let's just leave this. We can add a new list. I've already created one. We could leave that. Now we just add a book label here. This is for internal use. So read faster. So now what is our real book title? Okay. You can also add series and volume to this, and if you want, you don't have to. And you also can choose 3 categories to put your book into. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to upload the files. This is where we upload our files. And I've already done this just to save time. But as you can see, you can just opt to upload the PDF, or you could also upload the MOBI file, the EPUB file, and now we even offer the ability to upload zip files. So let's say you want to send people more than one thing kind of in a package, you can do that and they can be able to download whatever it is that you have for them in the zip file if you have a bigger file that you want to give them. So now we just go ahead and click on next. And now what I want to do is I want to paste my Amazon book listing right here. And I want to get a clean link. So the link, I already have it saved here, and it looks something like this. So sometimes the Amazon link is very messy, and we want it to just look, there's training inside so that you can grab this link. And then we could see if the book is on Kindle Unlimited. So I'm going to put yes, and then I could save the book. And the reason why we want that clean link is because the system automatically generates the review link for later on, when you're going to need it later on to communicate that request to write a review. The system is already going to have it in our platform, so you don't have to go and get it, and it's just an easy link for us to send over to the reader and request a review, and they get taken directly to Amazon to write the review. It's pretty cool. So now the book is added. And what we now need to do is we need to add a download page, and this download page is going to allow me to create a link to send to people. Okay, so I already have a download page created here. I'm just going to edit this so that this demo could be quick. It's really, really cool though, because you know, you can name the download page, you can have a short link. So it creates a nice, pretty link. So I can call this Debbie Drum RBF, just like read better, faster. Okay. And then I can again choose the list name. Now I can have a download limit. So let's say I'm only giving away 50 copies of my book. Maybe I just want to put 50 in there. And here is where we put our headline that will entice people to grab interest in our book. We did a whole training. You're going to love this, inside of Book Connect with Brian Cohen. He's an expert at book descriptions. And we have a template in here, and my best-selling author friend, Steve Scott, helped us with this template. So all you need to do is fill in the headline, the subheadline, and write an enticing description, and our tool will actually help you do that. I love this. We also have an expired page here. We're going to have adding a template here probably in the next couple days, because that's already done. So I want to just save this and show you what a download page looks like. And we're going to click download this is the link that copies the link. So here we can see, you know, this is the headline and this is the book description. So when they click get my book, they enter their email. Let's just do that, get book. And now people can download the book in any file format. So I want to take you to one more spot here, and that's to author pages. And what this will do is it'll automatically populate your book's information and create a nice author page. And this is the one that we created for Steve Scott, because he was so kind to help us with our book description stuff. And this is the page. So what it does is it creates, you can create up to 3 buttons here that go to anywhere you want. So maybe you have like a buy now on Amazon, buy now on iTunes, or get my free whatever it is. And you can have up to 3 custom buttons here, which is really, really nice. And you can showcase your work. And again, you have that nice link, custom link that it makes, and it just makes things look really, really professional. So we are really excited about Book Connect. This is where every author, every product creator is going to need this. And we just want to make the best tool for authors and content creators. So I want to show you one more feature that we're developing even more inside the Book Connect system, and that's our ability to communicate with the people who are on your list, the list that we attached to these download pages. So when somebody downloads your book, right, to get the free copy in any version via Book Connect, then they get on your list, and you can choose what list they go on, and then you can go to this mailing button here, add new mail, and you can either create a custom mailing to people on a specific list or many lists, or you can also choose one of our templates in here. Choose the template that you want. We have 2 in here right now. We're building this up. And once you choose the template, it'll automatically populate however many days are in that template. So some templates have 5 days of mailing, some have 7, and you're able to go in there and customize it to your book, and they're already pre-written for you. It's pretty cool. Another thing that we have here is the ability for you to send like a broadcast that's at a specific time and date. You can send a follow-up. So if you want it to be immediately after somebody downloads your book, you can do that. Or you can send a message right now and without having it timed or anything like that. So Book Connect allows you to automatically send and communicate messages to your new subscribers. And this is really, really valuable, especially as authors. This is a safe way and secure way and a foolproof way to build your list and communicate with people to maybe leave you reviews or buy your next books, whatever it is you want them to do. This is so important, and Book Connect makes it so easy for you to do. So let's go ahead now to talk about all the great things that are offered with this Book Connect special offer.
Debbie, that was great. Thank you so much for that really, really cool demo. And guys, I just want to say, this gets me excited. Let me ask you guys a question. Does that look pretty cool to you? If you could see how Book Connect could start helping you succeed as an author, please say hell yes in the chat box. Please let me know that you're still dialed in, that you're still excited. I've seen a lot of great questions, and we're going to start answering those all towards the end, but I just want to make sure that you're excited as I am. Yeah, I'm saying hell yes. Oh, wow, that looks amazing. I'm so excited. I love it. Rock out. Okay, yeah, I love it. You guys are excited. I have to say, Amy, your audience is awesome. You guys are really interactive. I love that you're talking
I
to
got
me.
to say, guys, that I really want to put a shout out to Dorothy for watching her language. You asked them to say hell yes, but Dorothy's got, she's got that ladylike thing. She just said yes. She just, and just little casual about it. Love it. And this is wonderful, guys. I'm so excited. I want to remind everyone to keep typing your questions into the Q&A box. And for those of you who have typed them into the chat box, I will be asking Debbie and Jonathan to answer those at the end.
So what we'd like to do, since you guys are special friends with Amy, and Amy's special friends with Debbie, and Debbie's special friends with me, is to cordially invite you to be one of the first people to get your hands on this game-changing software. This is something that I've already been using. We've already got some people that are using it and testing it. Really, I'm running a ton of stress tests on my own that are keeping the programmers on their toes, and it's so exciting. And we're excited to have you here and kind of show you that everything that's included in this product and kind of show you where it's going in the future and all these amazing things we're going to do. We want to get you guys in early because you're part of our circle of friends. And the first thing that comes as part of this package is the Book Connect software, which we're going to start selling at full price for $997 because this is the ultimate author software, as you've seen. It allows you to have a complete author profile, your own author page, where you can start driving sales and sending people to all the different bookstores. You can run a single book promotion, which is you can generate a whole bunch of reviews every time you launch a new book. And as I showed you guys earlier, just one review is the difference between being in the bottom 90% and the top 10%. Every time I go to read new books, I go, oh, wow, there's 3,000 new books. I click one review or more, and it drops down to 300. It blows my mind. 90% of the books can't get that first review. And we're also going to show you how to build a powerful list of superfans. That's a massive value, and it's just the beginning because we're also going to give you the page builder upgrade. This gives you lifetime access to that amazing page builder Debbie just showed you, where you can create multiple unique download pages for your book. You might want to create one version for friends, one for family, one for people that you're finding through blogs or other locations. And this allows you to message everyone differently. And you can give away your book as free. And you can also give away your book freebie. This is what gets me really excited. Inside every one of my books, I say, hey, thank you so much for reading this book. You can get the journal or the audiobook version or this additional content. Just go to this link. And you can make that page with Page Builder. So you can start to build a list of people that like your book and bought your book. So not only are you getting email addresses of people that took the free book, now when you're selling it, you can get the email addresses and the fans who read the book, bought it, and they're your super fans. And it comes with that powerful WYSIWYG, which means what you see is what you get HTML builder. So you don't have to learn any coding stuff. You just click bold or underline, and it handles all that stuff for you. And this bolt-on upgrade is worth $97. And that's just the beginning because we're also going to give you the book delivery upgrade. Because guess what? You don't have to email multiple copies of your book to each reviewer. Instead, we're going to deliver the best version for their e-reader, whatever they have, whether it's a Kobo or Aura or an iTunes, or I use a Books e-reader, and I'm looking at some other new readers. I use a lot of like crazy ones because I love e-readers. No matter what device you have, we're going to give them instant delivery, and we even send them an email version of the file as a backup. If the download doesn't work, you know, some people, we all have technical problems. Sometimes I do as well. We say, hey, even if you don't get the download, we've emailed it to you as well to make sure you get your file. And it's all handled automatically. You no longer have to ask people which device they have. The software does that for you. This is a $77 value. And we're going to give you price lock. We're never going to raise the price on you. Once you lock in now, this is a value of $480 a year. You're set. You get permanent access to your Book Connect level. Every single upgrade and bonus that we share in this presentation, you're locked in. You don't have to worry about the prices going up. You don't have to pay those monthly or yearly fees. We're setting you up to be an absolute champion. So let's review what comes in this bundle today. It's a whole bunch of really great stuff. We have the complete Book Connect system with the $997 value. And of course, we have the Page Builder add-on with the $97 value. And then we have the book delivery service with a $77 value. And then we have the pre-launch price lock-in, which is normally $480 a year, because this is going to be expensive software because we have to constantly maintain it. There's development costs, there's tech costs. We're constantly adding upgrades. But I want to take you to the next level because I love you guys. That means I'm going to give you live webinar bonus number 1, the author upgrade, $197 value. I'm going to upgrade you from 1 to 2 authors because let's be honest, everyone eventually needs a pen name. Even Stephen King has a pen name. If you like The Green Mile, guess what? He wrote that under someone else's name because he wanted to see if he could be successful or if people were just living off his name. And he wanted to see if he could still write great things. So I have multiple pen names. You do too. Now, if you have fiction and nonfiction, if you have children's books and adult books, you can separate them and have accounts for both of your pen names because we've got you covered. In addition, I want to give you live webinar bonus number 2, which is a book upgrade. We're going to give you 5 active books per author. Instead of just 1 book, we're going to let you run 5 different books. So that way, if you have a series of 5 books, you can run promotions on all of them whenever you want. This is a $97 value. It allows you to generate the reviews you need on autopilot, and you can leave evergreen books running and add new books in for each launch. So I have a few books that are always free. If you're like me, and a lot of authors do this, we have our first book, or book 0 is permanently free. And so we're constantly trying to send that and give it away to people. And then our other books are all paid. And every once in a while, when we launch book 7, we'll make it free for a couple of days to kind of run a promotion and generate some reviews. And then we go back to just pushing our evergreen book. You don't have to turn one off and turn one on. None of that stuff anymore. I want to make it easy for you to grow. This is a $97 value. It gives you the breathing room you need. Now you've got you got 2 names, your name and a pen name. You got your 5 active books per author. And live webinar bonus number 3. This is something really cool. When we're building Book Connect, I said, Debbie, here's something. I want to be able to deliver any type of file I want. What if I want to give away an audiobook version of my book? What if I want to give away a video? So now we have the zip file upgrade. So not only can you deliver PDF, Mobi, and EPUB, you can also zip any file you want, upload it to our servers, and we'll give it away. And this works for any type of online marketer. Now it takes you outside the realm of authorship. You can give away videos, training courses, and whatever it takes to build your list, build your following. So now any type of free gift you want to give away, you can absolutely do it. And that is really exciting. So let's review. Here's what you're getting. The Book Connect main software. Then you get the page builder, the book delivery service, the lifetime price lock, the live webinar bonus with double your authors, 5 books per author, and the free gift delivery. This is a total value of $19.82. Now I was born in 1980. But my sister was born in 1982. So I got really close to giving a total value of exactly how old I am. I give away my age because I want to give you guys maximum value. And because you're friends with Amy, we're going to do something really special. We're going to give you a very special price. If you go to debdrum.com/AmyBC, AMYBC, that stands for Amy Book Connect, we're going to give you a special price of just $297 a year. We're slashing your price to the bone. No more $480 a year for just the basic version. You get everything you see here, all these bonuses, because you guys are awesome. We want to really reward you for being special and being amazing. So click the link below, and I know that Debbie and Amy are going to type in the chat box for you, and make sure you have that link. And this is how we're going to say, thank you so much for being awesome. We're giving you early bird access. And if you look at the page, you're going to see this really cool box. Now, when you click the button, it takes you to this embed code, and you'll see something here really special, because we had a talk with Amy right before this call, and she said, you know what, guys, yearly it's too much. You've got to do something better for my audience. And so she talked me and Debbie into it. We're going to give it to you one single payment of $297. So when you see that button here, you'll notice it doesn't say anything about recurring payments, anything about a payment again in a year. There isn't one. Because you're coming in early, because you're part of our circle of friends, we're within 2 degrees of separation. I'm friends with Amy. I'm friends with Debbie. Debbie's friends with Amy. Amy's friends with you. That means we're going to hook you up. That's $297 for life.
Wait, Brian, this is Amy. I'm paying every year. Does this mean that that you're giving everyone lifetime access for one payment, and it's not an annual subscription?
That's right.
Well, now I'm grumpy. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I did not understand when you said that. I didn't fully get that. And okay. Wow. Okay. That is amazing.
And of course, Amy, if we're going to flip you over, we'll make sure you have lifetime as well. You should already have that, but I'm going to make sure that Debbie takes care of you real special, because we want to reward you guys for being part of our early tribe as we grow this. So please go to debdrum.com/AmyBC. I just learned, I've been calling that a backslash for 10 years. And someone recently said, Jonathan, you're dumb. It's a front slash. So I learned that. I learned something new, and I'm sharing that with you guys right now. Now, as always, there's a guarantee, because we want you to have a chance to kick the tires. So there's absolutely no risk to you. You only have the opportunity to gain with this absolutely amazing offer. Just spend the next 30 days kicking the tires, testing powerful software, getting some amazing reviews so that you can see that it works. And I want you to know that I use this software all the time. If you look inside my account, there are tons and tons of books in there and promotions. I'm constantly using it. It's a centerpiece of my business, and it's really how I'm moving forward. And of course, you know that if you don't use the software, don't try it, we can't give you a refund. You just have to use it, try it, do the work, and see that it works. If it doesn't work for you, we're happy to give you your money back. We know that it will. We believe in it. We just want you to work with us. Now,
guys, it's Amy again, and I have to jump in and just say I'm sorry to keep interrupting Jonathan, but for those of you who are, some of you are bestseller builders and some of you know me from New Shelves, but if I have done any work for you, you know, I mean, I use this program and I use this software and have for a long time. You know how much I use it. So this is one of those things that there's not a lot of pieces of software that I'm still using all this time later, but this is one of them. I use it every day. My team and I are in there every day setting new things up. It is so robust.
That's awesome. Just finally met someone who's as excited about this as I am. That's so wonderful to hear. And guys, because you're here, because you're special, I got to be honest, there's going to be a little bit more. And I think this is going to excite you as much as it excites me. What I want to do is give you some more bonuses. I want to hook you up with our author email robot. This is a fully built, full-blown autoresponder system that would normally cost $97 a month to email and be able to email my followers. I've used every piece of technology out there, and it can start to get really expensive. But we're going to sort you out, give you access, ability to send broadcast emails, automated emails, and even the entire email software solution just baked in. It's right built into the software. So instead of you having to use multiple pieces of technology, like one place to give away your gifts, one place to manage reviews, and another place to get email addresses, and a fourth place to send out those emails, it's all handled inside a single umbrella to make your lives easier. Because just like Debbie and I were talking about earlier today, learning tech is such a headache. We want to spend our time writing or marketing, not learning how to program. And so we've got you covered. And I want to give you another bonus. This is something really special. The way me and Debbie became friends over time is that I'm very, very good at writing emails and sales letters. I've written sales letters and copy for some of the best people in the world. And when I get hired to write a sales letter, I charge $10,000 to $20,000. And for an email, a single email, it's going to be $150 to $500. But I've put together a bundle of emails that I use and I've designed to help you guys do amazing things. And I call this entire bundle the Template Wizard Bundle. Combined, all these different emails are easily worth far more than $9.97, but I think that's a very reasonable approximation. It starts off by getting my review generator templates. These are designed to help you request reviews. So you send a message to someone using these templates, and they go, I'd love to take your book. I'd love to review it. It removes that hurdle for you. The next one, Debbie, there we go. The next one after you get review generator is called book review follow-up. What happens after you sent out that copy and you've asked for the review? Well, you got to send those messages and say, hey, will you review my book, review my book, review my book? But I've designed a set of emails that are specifically designed to make it easy, low friction, and not annoy people and get those reviews. See, before I started using the system and use these emails, I used to get 1 to 5 reviews for every 100 copies of my book I send out. Now, with the combination of the Book Connect software and these email templates, it's 80 to 90%. Now, once you've sent out these reviews, there's other amazing things we want to use the software for. What if you have a new series? You're launching, people have read your vampire series about a teenage girl who's in love with a vampire. What about the teenage girl who's in love with a zombie? We've got you covered with our new series launch template to help people transition as you move from to a new main character, to a side character, or to a slightly parallel genre. It's all covered. And of course, just as important are the welcome to the family templates. These email templates are how I welcome new readers. It's so critical, those first 5 to 7 emails, when someone's read your book, you want to move from a book they read to an author they follow and like. And we've got you covered with these powerful emails. And then when you're launching a new book, we've got the book launch templates. And then we've got the freebie converter templates. These are very interesting. When I give away a free gift of from one of my books or a free gift inside of the book, what I want to do is turn that person into a customer. They've taken something free, but I want to improve that relationship, what we all do. We don't want to just give away our books, right? Maybe we give away book 1, we want to sell book 2. We've got you covered. And so all these things are in place. And the final template is called the Review Recruiter templates. These are templates designed to help you find more and more reviewers, and you can set up cold emails. These are all put together. This is a massive bonus. It's my Template Wizard Bundle. Now, I love writing emails. I love writing messages that drive people to take action, and I love reading different genres. And that's why I put together one more super awesome bonus number 3 for you that I call the Genre Template Bundle. This is a $497 value. It includes romance email templates. It includes science fiction email templates. It includes nonfiction email templates and fantasy templates. All of these are there, whatever genre you're in, to help you communicate with your audience, because people are different. People who read a fantasy book, they're expecting a different style of email than people reading science fiction or people reading romance. Well, these are the most popular categories. And of course, if you're in different genre, we're continually adding new genre templates and new bundles. So when you start logging into the Book Connect software, what you'll notice is that we're continually adding new templates. And it comes from people like you sending a question going, hey, I want to learn how to use this template. I'm in this genre. I want to learn this. Or I need these emails. We're constantly adding them because your questions tell me what everyone else needs. So that's why you're so valuable. That's why you're so special to us. And that's why we're giving you everything you see together here. Now, you already know that the main software, the first fast action bonuses are worth $19.82 because that's the year my sister was born, 2 years after me. But additionally, we get the complete email system, which is worth $97 a month. Then we get the template wizard, which is worth $9.97. And finally, we have the genre template bundle, which is $4.97. We have so much value that the images on the slide are starting to hide the link because we want to give you all of this value. And now it's got a total value of $3,537. And you get every single thing you see here just when you go to debdrum.com/AmyBC, AMYBC, Amy Book Connect. Everything you see this is our way of saying thank you so much. And instead of being an annual fee, which is what it normally is, and what we're going to launch it out to everyone else, it's really for you guys. It's a single payment because we want to help you succeed as authors. We're excited to have you as some of our initial group of people inside the tribe, and that's going to allow us to continue to grow and improve the software. I love your question. I'm excited by the activity I see in the chat box. I see so many questions flying in, and I'm excited to answer them. So finally, I want to say that decision makers are rewarded. And me and Debbie have talked about something special that you'll see on the next slide for the first 10 people who take action. Starting with fast action bonus number 1. This is something really special, and this is something you're going to see more and more of in the future. I'm an expert at bringing together authors and creating events that I call book swaps. And in the end, I'm going to show you a whole demonstration explaining exactly how book swaps work and why they're a win for every author. What we do is we create bundles of books for each genre. We generate a bunch of traffic, including a massive list I have of people that love free books, to start getting you those initial reviews. And this is a great question. Alan mentioned earlier, he already is a Book Connect user, and he said, I want to hear more, again, about how to generate those reviews. How do we find those first reviewers? I handle that for you by creating events, which means in every genre, whether it's poetry, romance, nonfiction, business, biographies, we're going to create events, invite authors in who already have existing lists and help you guys grow together, because I believe that a rising tide rises all ships. And so we're going to help you find those reviewers and help you build your list right out the gate. And this is something that's an absolute game changer. This changed my business when I realized other authors aren't my enemies. I used to think of every other author who had a book ranked anywhere near mine as someone who I had to destroy. I said, how can I take them down? But you know what? There's a robot on the cover. I'm reading it. I don't just follow one science fiction author. I follow dozens. And in the same way, we can form alliances with other authors in the same genre. So this is how a new author who doesn't have their name on the map yet can start to get attention, can get a shot. Because when your book is right next to a book by an author that someone likes, they're going to give you a shot. And this is how we start to get you that initial traction. So this answers that question of how do I find reviewers? I've got you covered. And of course, got fast action bonus number 2. This is the craziest thing we're offering. We're going to be developing Book Connect 2.0. The big thing that I've been doing with Debbie is constantly coming up with all of the different tools, techniques, and ways we're going to advance the software, including adding more bookstores, advanced review tracking, building a review point system so you can reward your reviewers that take the most action. This is a big part of my business. My most expensive training course is $3,000. And I have someone who reviewed my 99-cent book and kept reviewing products until he got that product for free, because he was giving me value, recording videos, and reviews and testimonials are worth their weight in gold. And we put in automatic product escalation. That means people can go from your lowest product to your highest product. We keep rewarding them for leaving reviews. And we're going to have systems for image reviews, video reviews. I've also talked to Debbie. We're building out a new system to handle audiobook reviews, which I'm so excited by, because there are some really cool new things coming out in audiobooks because I use the software. I'm not just about selling the software. This software is the centerpiece of my business. I want it to be better for me. And so for a value of $2,997, which is what we're going to charge when we launch Book Connect 2 in a few months, you get locked in. You're going to get upgraded to 2.0. We're not going to ask you for an extra penny. We're not going to change the name. That happened to me once. I used to use a piece of software, and they changed it, the name slightly, and they said, oh, this is different software, so you have to pay again. I go, I thought I bought Lifetime. We're not going to do that. You're locked in. And finally, for being a fast action taker, and this is just for the first 10 people who take action today, we're going to give you Video Testimony Your Robot. It's worth $97. This helps you to automate the video review process. It's built into our software. We're adding more integrations. This is one of the fastest ways to build your amazing Amazon ranking, generate more reviews. If you visit any of my books, you'll go, wow, Jonathan has a lot of video reviews. Most people don't leave video reviews of books, but almost 10% of my book reviews have videos because I've developed this system, and it allows you to reward your best reviewers, and the entire process handled by our software. And the cool thing is you sleep and you wake up to more and more and more video reviews. Now, I thought this would be enough, and then Debbie said, no, you have to give more. And guys, I don't know if you can hear it through the microphone, but I am sweating right now. I turned off the air conditioner. I live in the tropics, which means even though it's the middle of the night, it's about 150 degrees. So our final fast action bonus, number 4, which I'm paying for with my blood, sweat, and tears, but mostly sweat, is a one-on-one phone consultation with me or Debbie. You could choose which one of us you want to spend time with. I normally charge, and so does Debbie, $500 an hour. And yet we're giving away 30 minutes of our time, so almost the entire value of just buying a phone consult with us, and then you get everything else for free. Whether you want to ask for custom Book Connect upgrades and features, review your book cover, outline or launch strategy, develop a custom review plan specific to your book, or have us just guide you through the perfect book launch. We're there for you. We're excited to make this happen for you. And it's all at debdrum.com/AmyBC. And you're probably saying, John, you've talked about a lot of stuff. Can you just slow down and show it to me one more time? Absolutely. So let's go. Here's what you get. Right now, the total value is $35.37. That's a whole lot of value. But let's add in those fast action bonuses for the first 10 of you that take action. And what you're going to see is something really, really cool. If we add everything, stack it all together, we have a massive value of $78.78. That's almost $8,000 worth of value. All of these amazing upgrades and features and templates and tech, things that I normally charge massive amounts of money for. I just want to give it to you because, guys, I want you to succeed as authors. I believe in you, and I believe that amazing things can happen for you. And it's all at debdrum.com/AmyBC. That's AMYBC, Amy Book Connect. Now, I'm going to take a quick sip because my throat is on fire. And we're going to talk about some very cool stuff on the next slide. Because you get everything you see here. It took me ages to make this slide because it was so hard to fit all the images and all the value into a single image. Now, guys, you've been firing away questions. You've got a ton of them. It's finally time to answer your questions as they've been coming in. And I know tons of it. And Amy, you said you'd read them to us, which I really, really appreciate. So we don't have to do as much scrolling up and down. So let's dig into it. Let's go right into our question and answer time.
Oh, guys, thank you so much. Deb, Jonathan, this is wonderful. I am going to jump right into the questions and then we'll go back and forth because some of these people have been, a number of people have asked the same question. So instead of tossing names, the first question that's come up most often than anyone else is, will they be limited to 5 books? If they join this, today? What is the limit? There was a little confusion as to how many books they were allowed to post. And there was also a question about editions. Does the EPUB versus the Mobi, does that count as 2 editions? Is it unlimited? How many books are they allowed to post?
Okay, great question. First of all, we were going to upgrade you guys to 5 books per pen name. But you know what? You asked, let's say you do the next level. We're going to 5X that. So there's no way you run out. For every pen name, 25 different books you can have in there. Now, the different editions do not count as different versions. So a single edition of a book includes 1 zip file, 1 PDF, 1 EPUB, and 1 .mobi. Those are all one book because it's just different versions.
If that's like 100 different files. Yeah, because if my book the right way, if I've got an EPUB, a PDF, and a Mobi, that's one. You're counting that as one.
Absolutely, because it's the same book.
And you're giving people 25 books if they sign up.
Per pen name. There's 2 pen
Per
names, so
pen.
it's actually 50 books total.
That's amazing. That's amazing.
And I will say this is that there will be cutoffs inside the system. So if you don't get in now and you wait, you definitely have to pay more for those additional books in the future. So and that's what we're building out right now as we speak. So this is like an ultra really, really great deal you're getting.
All right. Let me throw a few more questions at you. If somebody is still working on their book, but it's not published yet, is this program something that they could use? And Jonathan, I think I know what I would say, but I'm curious what you and Deb would say. How could someone whose book is still not published, but it's being written, how could they use this program?
That's a really great question. So one of my biggest experiences, my flagship book, Serve No Master, I spent months writing it. I sent it out to early reviewers. I worked really hard, and I got back a really harsh set of feedback. Someone said, there's some big mistakes. Here's what stinks about your book. And I wanted to cry. I spent 3.5 days straight rewriting the entire book. And it changed everything. It made the book tons better. And even though it hurts, sometimes we learn from the hardest moments in our life. That book has become a massive success, and it altered the course of my business. And that's the value of getting feedback before you get the book out there. So actually, when you're writing the book, when you're getting beta readers, this is how you can manage your beta readers. So you can say, hey, here's a pre-release copy. Give me your feedback. Part of the Book Connect system is that we have them leave the reviews inside our system first so you can read them and get feedback. That allows you to say, okay, great, I'm going to alter the book. You don't need to leave a review on Amazon or anywhere else. I'll alter the book and send you the next version. Your feedback really helps me. Additionally, if you wait until your book is done to start planning your book launch and start generating reviews, you're going to push everything back. This is a common mistake that new authors make. They say, oh, I can't send out review copies until the book cover is done. I knew someone, I was just talking to a guy recently. He's really successful in other markets. He goes, oh, I can't send out review copies of my book. I don't have the back of the cover written. And I said, you're sending out digital copies. No one's going to see the back of it. If you flip over a Kindle, you don't see the back of the book you're reading. And yet we get held back by these simple, small things. Instead, the earlier you plan and start strategizing for how you're going to generate reviews, for how you're going to build your street team, for how you're going to launch your book, the more likely you are to succeed. My biggest mistakes came from not planning my launches or waiting things too late. If you wait until your book is done and go, okay, the book's done, the cover is done, I'll start getting reviews now, you're going to push your book launch back by 4 to 6 weeks at least. And so you're delaying the amount of time between you and experiencing success each time you push back part of this process. And so absolutely, I start pushing books into Book Connect long before they're finished, long before I'm publishing them. Because the sooner they're in this cycle, the easier it is for me to manage. I'd much rather have 30 reviews written a month before I'm launching the book than trying to scramble and get reviews on launch day. That's a great question.
All right. Well, that's wonderful. And also, you guys were talking a lot about endorsements. And Carrie and I, we talk about endorsements all the times with our authors. If you can get one of your fellow authors or someone with name recognition to say something nice about you, golden. Golden. A couple of people, including Rich, hey Rich, how you doing, are asking more about what if they can't find reviewers to send to? How do they find the actual email addresses? And that there's a million answers to that. Mine is always Google, but I know Debbie might have an opinion on how do you find the people to ask to write the review? And you covered this a little bit in your presentation, but for those who are confused or if they're not sure how to get it, do you have any additional advice?
Yes. So first of all, that's why we built in that fast action bonus of being a VIP invite to my book swap events, which is where I help tons of authors get new reviewers. And so we're going to be creating events inside of Book Connect. Now, there's other software out there that I've tried, right, that does the same thing, but they don't create events for you, and they seem to only do them for romance authors. The difference is we're expanding into every single niche, and so I'm be creating and running events constantly. And because you guys are coming in now, you're going to get a ticket. Normally, I don't let anyone into my events unless they can send at least 500 subscribers to one of my events. But I want to help more and more new authors. And so we're building out a massive list of people who love free books inside Book Connect. And we're only using that list, only using those lists of people who love free books to promote new authors and people inside the Book Connect ecosystem. We're not using that list to go anywhere else other than say, hey, if you guys like free books, well, then here's a ton of free books. You may have seen this, you've seen how BookBub works, we're creating a very similar event, except for we're not selling slots. We're going to just use them to grow the authors who are part of our ecosystem as our way of saying thank you for being part of our family. Now, down the line, obviously, we're going to start making it harder and harder to get invited to the book swaps, and we're going to start charging more and more for those different features. But we're going to give you guys that access now, and that really answers that question. That's so critical because you're going to have people who've written books similar to yours tell their followers, hey, look at these books, and one of them will be yours. And that's going to get you really, really targeted reviewers. Now, there's tons of other strategies you can use, using Google, using other software, using review trackers, going all these other places and looking on forums. And we teach tons and tons of strategies in addition to that. But I know for a lot of you guys, that's a hurdle. And so I wanted to put tech in place that overcomes that hurdle specifically. So we're going to help you find those reviewers, create events. And if you're in a genre we don't have an event for, please tell me so we can create more and more and more events.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. All right.
So
we've got two anonymous questions, both of which are kind of in the same genre. If somebody has an email address or contact information of a public figure and they then get put on auto send, can that person or anyone opt out? Is it an easy?
Absolutely.
Okay,
yes,
so
yes.
It's easy for people to opt out.
Of course it is. We're totally can spam compliant. We're GDPR compliant. We are very careful to make sure that both us and you can't get in trouble. And we always say to someone, hey, is it okay if we send you follow-up emails? If someone just wants your book and they don't want the follow-up emails, and you can also, in your own settings, say don't send the follow-up emails. So you can create a special page for that person with no follow-up emails, or just turn on follow-up emails for everyone who's grabbing the book. So you don't have to send those emails out. We want you in control of every granular aspect of the software. So we're definitely going to protect you from those issues. We don't want you to have any of those problems where someone feels trapped.
All right. All right. And SG's asking if she wants to send out different drafts to beta readers. Let's say she sends out a draft to her beta readers, and then a few months later she does all the rewrites and she sends out another draft. Is that a different book, or is it the same book?
It's the same book, because what you'll do is you go back into that book file and you'll just update the files. So you'll just update which files they get when they go to that page.
A couple of people have asked if this is in conflict with KDP Select or Amazon's exclusivity rules.
That's a really great question. And it's really important to understand compliance. We're happy to answer those. It's good to see you have a sophisticated audience that is asking that question. The first thing is this is about generating reviews before your book goes live. So if you do this and then you launch your book to KDP, 100% totally fine, okay? Because you're allowed to generate ARC reviews. You're allowed to give out advanced review copies. That's still in the language of Amazon's terms and conditions. Secondly, it's every time someone leaves a review through our system, they leave a note when they write a review. We add in a tagline that says, this, I received an advanced review copy. So Amazon knows that it's not us trying to give away sneaky copies. It's not us doing an end run. It's not us violating the system. Additionally, you can protect yourself higher and higher levels if you want to make sure you don't do them at the same time. We really encourage you to run events before your book is live so that you don't have any of those problems. But also, you can limit the number of downloads and limit to make sure you don't have any competitive issues. If you're giving away 25 copies, you're never going to have a problem. You have a time lock. Most of my events, I always put a 2-day time lock on my swap so that the books are only live for 2 days. All these things protect you. What Amazon's really looking for is to make sure that your book isn't available on other websites. They're more worried about your book being for sale on your website directly or being for sale on a competitor's website after you're in the KDP program. But of course, everything we do is designed to constantly stay TNC compliant, TOS compliant, and we'll continue to update the software. Every time Amazon changes their terms of service, we update and modify the way the software operates to make sure that you guys are absolutely covered. Now, I saw a question just popped in that said, how long will the bonuses be active? And guys, when you go to the page, debdrum.com/ABVC, the bonuses are all on the page. As soon as they're not available, as soon as those 10 early bird slots are taken, those bonuses will disappear. So you don't have to worry. If it's showing on the page, it's absolutely still available. So that's
I believe they're almost gone. So because I have to wait for my system to kind of update, which is not happening right away, but we're nearing towards that limit.
Now, guys, I do want to jump in and say I spend a lot of time talking to the folks at Amazon, and what Jonathan said is absolutely true, but I can promise you this. Amazon, when you sign up for KDP Select, you are not allowed to sell your book or give it away for free to the public. That is not the same thing as offering reader copies of your book or review copies. Amazon, if you go to their guidelines, it says right there that Amazon acknowledges that review copies are a time-honored and long-standing tradition in the book industry, and they are not, at the moment, they do not count those. So as long as you're clear in your mind and that this is a review process, you are not in violation of KDP Select, excuse me, their terms. They don't want your book offered to the public in a retail format for free or for low cost. And as long as that, and if you use, that's one of the reasons why I use Book Connect, because I never want to put it on my website for free, and because, you know, or email out a Mobi to somebody. This is the way to actually stay within Amazon's rules, because this is not a retail function the way my website could be seen as. Amazon would have absolutely be within their rights to look at a free copy of my ebook on their website and say, well, that's a public forum. That is not the case with this, and that's why I use it.
Awesome. Guys, thank you for asking all these amazing questions. There's still
there's quite a few, I'm afraid, left to go. So, Jonathan, you might want to turn your air conditioner back on.
It's so loud.
Patricia's asking if Book Connect, if you guys can help with conversion, PDF conversion, and I don't believe it does, but I'm going to toss it out to you.
Yeah, the problem is that however you've built the PDF, trying to convert a PDF into an EPUB or a Mobi or a digital file, it always will cause some issues with how it looks. So it's much easier for us to convert the other way around. If you have a EPUB or Mobi converted to PDF, that's easier to do. Now, I happen to use a free piece of software called Calibre. Maybe it's called Calibre because that's how it's spelled, to do my conversions. But I recommend, and maybe you're talking about a specific version of the book. If you're talking about like a coloring book or some type of book where the PDF is really critical, then you still want to just use the PDF version. So if you can be more specific, I'm happy to answer it, but we don't do a conversion internally because that almost always generates errors. We would rather you do the conversion yourself. You can use that free software, and then you can check to make sure it looks the way you want before you upload. That allows us to have an error check process in place that you're in charge of. That's a great question.
Yeah. And Mary Lee's asking about ConvertKit, but I'm afraid I'm not familiar with ConvertKit, and I'm wondering if either of you know what it is. She wants to know if this integrates with ConvertKit.
So here's how that works. That's a great question, because that's the autoresponder software that I've been using for a long time. What you can do, and we're adding in more integrations. Right now, this is what I do. Whenever I run a promotion, I download the CSV, which is the comprehensive separate values, and we give you that file. So you download all the people that have grabbed your book and you upload it into ConvertKit. And most autoresponders, so if you want to use an external system, you can do that. And over time, we're going to be adding more and more deep integrations if you want to use a separate email system. So then you can email within Book Connect or use your separate autoresponder. So we'll be adding that technology. But for now, it's easy to do a manual download and a manual upload. I know that a ConvertKit, your list will be live in less than 5 minutes because I do it all the time. That's a great question.
All right. Charisse is asking about whether or not this is a good idea for hybrid authors. And John, any experiences with dealing with people who are traditionally published or hybrid published and getting this together for an author who maybe doesn't have the publishing aspects?
It depends on your contract with your publisher. So I know that sometimes we have really tough contracts. I've certainly been approached by big publishers, and they wouldn't give you any control. So you have to say, am I allowed to send out art copies? And most publishers will let you, but if you have a contract that specifically says you can't, then your hands are tied. Sometimes they're tied by version, like you're only allowed to send out a PDF, but not other versions. So that's the only limitation. It's the contract you signed. But most publishers say, hey, look, I want to generate a bunch more reviews to sell a bunch more copies. Can I give away 25 reviews? Most publishers, especially hybrid publishers, are of course going to say yes to that. So unless you have a particularly onerous contract, it's going to work absolutely fine. That's a really good question because I know more and more of us are kind of doing things in different ways.
All right. Bird is asking about Amazon links from Amazons that are not US based. Bert apparently has quite a few connections in the UK and Canada. And is there any problem with using links that are not Amazon.com?
So right now, the software pulls in the Amazon review link from Amazon.com specifically, because that's where the majority of the sales are. Obviously, I have readers too. I have a lot of readers in the UK and a lot in Australia as well. So I understand where you're coming from. All the software that does those automatic redirects does it by an IP thing and sends them to a different store. It gets a little complicated with the tech there. So I'm not sure if we're going to add in that feature, to be totally honest with you, because it's really complicated. Most people, if they're from another country, they get sent to the wrong Amazon, they know how to jump to their country store because they deal with it all the time. So we are looking at those solutions, but it's really, really, really complicated to try and do that, because half the time people get redirected to the wrong store anyways. Like if you're on vacation, it sends you to the wrong store. So that is a really good question. What we're going to do is add in an option to have a link below your book, say, hey, are you using a different Amazon? And we'll have links to those different stores. So we won't automate it. We'll make it so people can choose it. We're going to build in that feature. That's a great question. So that's going to get added to the Book Connect 2.0. That's why I love these questions, because I didn't think of that. Boom, I'm going to make Debbie build it. She's
I love
surprise, Debbie.
That's awesome. Quick question, and the same question has come up now from several different people. I'm not going to throw out names, but W and S and C and some people have all purchased, but none of them are sure if they qualified for the fast action bonuses. And I want to remind you guys what Jonathan said. If you get there and you're able to purchase, that means that you got in. Is that, Debbie, is that correct? Or are we done? Are we out of them?
I'm not seeing an update from my end. So right now, and because we can't really change too much right now on the live call, then we'll just make it so that the fast action bonuses are on the live call, because there's a ton of people taking advantage of.
All right. So if you guys if you're hearing Debbie's voice and you bought, you're in.
Yeah.
And if you buy before we hang up, you're in. Because more than 10 people have asked me if they got into the fast action bonus. But Debbie, if you're willing to leave it live just until we hang up in a few minutes, I'd be so grateful.
Yeah, as of right now, that's how it's going to be, because if anyone takes advantage of it before we end this call today, then you're considered a fast action bonuser. And
I want to tell you guys a very short story, and this has happened more than once with Debbie, where one of my authors has come to me and said, hey, I don't like the message that is going out under my book. Can you change it? And I've called Debbie, and she said, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to make that happen. And she does. And a couple of months ago, I said to Debbie, there's this limit and I don't know how to get around it. And she said, oh, that's really good. That's a good idea. And she shifted it. And all of a sudden the limit, Debbie is extremely responsive, and not just to me. I hear this from tons of authors that I have connected with Debbie, that when something happens that is either a good idea or not a good idea, she's very responsive. And so for those of you who are on the fence and thinking, oh, I don't know if this works for me, or I only have one book, or my book isn't out yet, or it won't be out for a year, I have been working with Debbie for years. And she has grown her business and her service to me, even though I ended up buying in at a much less expensive program years ago. She's probably very sorry, because I've been a huge pain in her tuchus. But
no, you're the best. You give me the best ideas.
But guys, if you're on the fence, jump on it, because I jumped on it back when this was much less expensive, and she has honored everything. She has grown me. And I would suggest that you do the same thing, because she lives up to her word. SG is asking if this program works just as well for ebooks, and I can assure you it does. You are allowed, these reviews come across for your paperbacks, your hardcovers, your ebooks, your audio. It's good for anything. I have used it over and over again.
So for hardbacks, there's a couple of options you have. If you want to create a list of people to ask for and then mail them a physical copy, you can. We would use the software directly. The best way is to send people a PDF of your hardback book. So that way it's all automated. So whether you want to take that and then mail out a physical copy, we're still going to track it. The software handles it that way. That's what's beautiful about getting people through our system. It's the automation. So you don't have to be annoying and saying, did you get it? Did you get it? Did you get it? You just activate the email sequence you want, and we'll send that, hey, did the book arrive? Great. Have you started reading it? Great. What did you think of it? Great. Can you share it here? And it makes it easy. And if people get annoyed, you can say, hey, Jonathan, Debbie's fault. Their software, I can't control it. It's sending these emails. I'm so sorry. And then you could blame us, and you still get those reviews. That's how I pushed up from a 5% review rate to an 80% review rate, because that's the game changer. So you don't have to ask 100 people. You can ask 5 and you'll have a couple of reviews. So much easier. Great question.
One of the things that we're building that I'm super excited about that Jonathan doesn't quite understand yet, I don't think, but it's the ability to, as we all know, that chat box and messaging is really, really hot right now. And we're going to be able to allow you, the person the author inside of Book Connect, connect with people who are interacting with your pages. So let's say you get someone who logs on and wants to download your book, you can actually go in there and say, hey, did you get a chance to read it? And directly communicate with that person so that you can get a response quicker than you would having to email that person or follow them around Facebook. It's automatically attached because the user is going to be logged in. Now this isn't built yet, but this is something that I'm envisioning right now that is really, really cool, because you don't want to be chasing down people and finding them. You want to just be able to contact them right then and there. And with today's technology, you're able to do that. And I'm super excited about that feature. So you'll be grandfathered in to get that one if you get in today or with this deal.
Guys, one of my favorite authors, Alex, is asking about connecting to subscription services like MailChimp. And I haven't been able to connect to MailChimp, but Alex, you and I, we do MailChimp together. But I do know that you can export email addresses beautifully, super easy from the system, and then dump it into MailChimp.
Right.
So it's not automatically connected, but it's a 3-step, super easy process. And Alex, I will show you how. It'll take 2 seconds.
Yeah. So right now you're correct. That's not built in. That's actually not really high on the priority list to build those functions, but we'll definitely it's definitely on the list.
Yeah. And Linda, for you and hey Linda, how are you? It's good to see you. But for any of you who are still curious about how to reach potential reviewers, I want to remind you that Jonathan is offering you guys enormous events where you can offer your book. He's giving you access to an event where you are actually hooked up with lots of other authors, and you guys all promote each other's books for promotion, for review to each other's, to your list and to each other's list. And as he said, he's seeing about an 80% success rate, which is 20 times higher than the success rate that I have. But what I do is I go out, I find a blogger, I email them, I ask if they'd like to see a review copy. It's very time intensive. And I get maybe a 5-6% of yeses. And then of that 5 and 6%, not all of them actually write reviews. It is exhausting. I am so excited about this event aspect of this. So I think that that's one of the most valuable parts of it, is just getting into that. That's going to be huge. That's
what I said, Amy. Almost that fills the hole between, sure, you can, give out your book, but who are you going to give it out to? And that kind of starts the process. You can do things like you said, blog outreach, book review targeter is still a viable option. All the stuff that we teach inside the training, but that's like your foot in the door. The book swap is your foot in the door to kind of get noticed by a lot of people without having to do too much, and without even having to have those initial reviews. There's no requirement of initial reviews to be part of these swaps, which is awesome.
A couple people have asked about where the buy button is. Guys, this is it's a web-based webinar, so I'm afraid you have to go to debdrum.com/AmyBC. debdrum.com/AmyBC. And and that's where you can go and find it. One or two people said that while they were paying, things got hung up. Don't worry about it. Just click off, shut it down, go back into debdrum.com/AmyBC. You've got my word. Debbie and I text each other way too often. If you have any problems, get a hold of me. You guys all know how to get a hold of me. And get a hold of Debbie. We'll work it out. But if there's any issues, for instance, if you weren't redirected to the login page, those are things I can help with. Don't let that stop you from getting all the bonuses. Just keep going. You guys know me. I promise I will help you get it taken care of. John is asking, he's got a book right now that's more than 300 pages, and it takes a long time to read. And he wants to know if he should be asking for more reviewers via social media. Deb, is these links? I love these landing page links that you've created. Can people use them and post them on social media, or is that not a great idea?
Oh my God, that's a great idea, because the thing is that's really incredible with this system here is that you're getting an email address without it really looking like a traditional squeeze page. So when somebody clicks the download link, right, that you can share anywhere, they click get my book or get access, whatever the button is. And then to get access, we're like, oh, where should we send this to? And people are used to that today. They're like, oh, okay, let me just put in my email, as opposed to here's my free book. But before that, you have to put in your email address. And like, it doesn't look like very squeeze pagey or anything like that. It's just like, hey, where do we deliver it? And guess what's happening? You're building your email list. And that's why we're solving a huge problem that a lot of today's authors have, which is not building their email list at the same time as giving out copies of their book.
One or two of you guys are raising your hand, which is great, but that is a function that actually we don't have anyone's microphones in access. This webinar system doesn't allow for that. So if you have a question, please go to the Q&A box or to the chat box. I'm happy with either, but go to the Q&A box or the chat box. We're winding down now. For those of you who are interested in going to debdrum.com/Amy, AMYBC, which stands for Book Connect, those bonuses will be available just for a few more minutes. There's 3 more questions in our open question queue, and I want to make sure we get all your questions answered. That's why we're here, but I also want to respect Jonathan and Deb's time. So you guys got time for a couple more questions? Can I just hit you with a few more?
Yeah, fire away.
Great. Jonathan, have you ever used this during Amazon free days, during a launch, to get even more free reviews? Have you ever used this system in conjunction? If a promotion is going out where they're promoting free days through Amazon, does it make sense to use this as well? Or would you save, my thinking is I would save it for when you're not doing a free day so that you can optimize your marketing that way. But do you have any experience with that?
Yeah, so I use this system, Book Connect, to generate reviews. And when I'm on running my free promotion days, I'm trying to generate as many downloads as I can. So I'm not caring about reviews. So it's 2 different things. And I will run a promotion with Book Connect first, because once you have those reviews and you've got some traction, then when you start pushing traffic and running your free promotion day, you're going to have a higher conversion rate. The more reviews you have, the fresher your reviews, the more likely someone is to take your free download after they click to your page. So I use them separately as a kind of a 1-2 punch. I get the reviews in place, and then I generate as many downloads as I can so that I shoot up the ranks. So I really like to do one.
Great advice. Now, John is also asking how many reviews is a good number?
You know what? Let me do some examples. So I actually put together a couple of bonus slides before this presentation that we normally don't share, but I'm going to do it. Debbie, let's go to the next slide. First of all, you guys, here's the free gift, which is, she flew past it, debdrum.com/spot. We talked about how to help you publish and get passive incomes in other places, and we'll put that in the chat box as well. But let me go through into this new demo. I'm going to show you guys real numbers and real money because you guys deserve it. So this is the first book ever published on Amazon. It's called Easy and Minimalist Living by Jennifer Nicole. That's one of my pen names, my lady pen name. And I went through a Kindle publishing course, and it taught me, hey, hire a ghostwriter. This is who we recommend. I paid $800 to a ghostwriter. Now, I had no idea how to get reviews. I launched the book. I made it free for 5 days, and I got a bunch of downloads. I'm like, wow, it's working. And then I started buying traffic and sending people during those free days. I said, oh, you'll promote free days and you'll promote free days. Great, I'm golden. And let me show you what happened. Here's the first 18 months of sales. So the first month was really exciting. Look at that. Made almost $150. Then it got slow again for 2 months. Then I had a month where I made almost $125. This is 18 months of sales. So it goes all the way from February to August. And in 18 months, I made, as you can see on the next slide, $798.79. I was still just under $2 from breaking even. So without having the reviews in place, without knowing anything about how to use it as just launching a book free, just having it out there. And this was years ago, right? This is way back when the salad days, when Amazon used to be easy, but then something special happened, and you'll see it on the next slide. You could see when I met Debbie. You could see almost the exact day we first talked. And she started talking and said, no, what you have to do is launch a review campaign. And what you'll see as sales started growing and exploding, and you can see when the changeover happened from Create Space to KDP Print as well, they started adding in that purple color. What I want you to see is that giant spike in sales. Instead of having every once in a while $100 or $150 a month, it became the standard. And what's beautiful is how much this changed my income from a single book. Remember, I paid $800, but then now I hit almost $8,000. I almost 10x how much money I was making from that book just by launching that single book.
I'm gonna push back and be a little skeptical. Is the reviews what made the difference? Was there other things you were doing?
I gave up on this book. I actually thought about giving up on Kindle. I was like, it's not working. I'll never make my money back. I'm depressed. The reviews were absolutely a big part of changing. Now, I did do one other thing. About a year later, I moved the book into a different category. It was in the clean your house category. I moved it into the hoarding category. Now, my book is not about hoarding. There's no picture of hoarding. Those are the only two things I did. It had new reviews, and it was in a fresh category, and I started to get traction. This is not a primary book. This is not a book I push hard.
That's fantastic.
So I want you guys to see that it really can make a difference, because I was struggling to get attention because there's a lot of books. The title's like crazy, right? I was like, oh, people use the word minimalist all the time, and it's kind of about decluttering your home. And I was just trying to jump in that trend. And it's not something I'm really an expert on, but it's something passive. And it's often one of my best performing books. Almost every single month, it's one of my best passive books, and I love that. Now, again, you get everything you see here, all of these things, when you go to debdrum.com/AmyBC. And so I want to remind you that you can, just with one book, easily get that return on investment with a good review campaign using our system. I want you to see it's possible to earn back that $297, because that's important to me. See, I don't want you guys to be upside down on this software forever and I just make a profit and I run off laughing to the bank. That's not what this is about. What I want you to see is that we have a system in place so that you can earn back your investment, because then you become super fans and you'll tell all your friends about Book Connect, and then it becomes the most popular software in the world. So I want success from everyone who uses the software. Now you might be saying, look, I'm not in that space. I'm more of a direct response marketer. I'm more of a nonfiction marketer, and I get that. And so I put together another example, and I want to show you guys. I've been a ghostwriter for a long time, and this is just my PayPal invoices over the last couple of years. And what I had to do is chop it up into 3 sections so it fit on a single slide. At the very bottom, you can see the first ghostwriting job I took was for $700. I wrote a book, 35,000 words for $700. I was getting paid less than the ghostwriter I paid to write that book for me. And what happened over time is, as my books went up in rankings, as I generated reviews, people started treating me differently. And as you work up the chain, you'll start to see that the payments start going to 1,000, then 2,000. Then on the top left corner, what I want you to know is that those are multiple payments. See, originally it was $700 or $800 a book. Now I was getting payments of $2,000 up front and $3,000 on delivery. And the numbers started getting higher and higher. And when I had a really good review push, something amazing happened, which I want to show you right now. The day I beat Harry Potter changed everything. That generated that email directly from Amazon where someone said, hey, we love what you're doing. We would like to represent you. And that also meant, because I had credibility, and again, look, The books around me, 299 reviews, 14,000 reviews, 9,000 reviews, 3,000 reviews. I only had 86 reviews and 4.5 stars then. It's not a huge number. It's an achievable number for a book that's been out for a year. And then that's when the prices went to the next level. I want you to see these two on the top left, they're wire transfers for $10,000 and $5,000. And you'll notice they're from the same Mexican bank. That's from the same client. Now for a ghostwriting book, it's not $700 or $800. It's $20,000. And you can see here in my bank transfer invoice for another client, $3,000 and $10,000. I was able to massively increase more than 20 times what I'm able to get paid for external projects. So as you increase your reviews, people perceive you differently. And one of the most amazing things that happened in addition to that was an email that I received, a cold email that came out of nowhere, and I want to read it to you. Now, I had to black out a few parts of it, and I'll tell you why. This is Jonathan. I've read your books, 2 of your books. I just posted 5-star reviews on Audible. Thank you. Now, I have a favor to ask. This is me. Now, I had to block out the name of this magazine article because if I told you the name of this person, every single person on this call would know who I'm talking about. They're so famous. I live in the middle of nowhere. If I said the name, every single person on my island would know who I'm talking about. So I have to protect their identity. And he said, I also wrote a book 10 years ago. It was paid once by the publisher, but he never did anything with the book. He's agreed to give me all the rights back, so I'm revisiting it and relaunching it on Amazon Kindle. Here's the book. What are your thoughts? And it's a link to his current book. And they said, any feedback appreciated, Don. Now, here's the craziest thing. Don's a billionaire with a B. I don't have a lot of friends that have a B, okay? I don't have a lot of friends that talk about 9 and 12 figures. So when he messaged me, I said, whoa. I emailed him back and we got on the phone. He goes, wow, I didn't even think you'd reply to me. I said, I didn't know there were people who didn't reply to emails from billionaires. I had so much credibility that he was surprised I responded to him. And of course we worked on a project together. Now, it's hard to get Don on the phone. Here's why. He messaged me last summer and said, look, I know haven't been really responsive. I apologize. We got a kind of busy project. It's not doing great. I'm working on a new project. It's going to do about $400 million this year. So it's not great, but it's okay. That's the level of people that reach out to you. So he emailed me most recently about 2 weeks ago. We're working on other projects. Don, of course, has sent me money. We've worked on some cool stuff together and we're on each other's radars. And we're also acquaintances and friends. And I know the internal workings of some of his amazing projects. But that's the kind of level, these are amazing things that happen to me because I learned, mostly from Debbie, it's absolutely true, how to start generating reviews. And it used to be a lot harder. I used to have to use blood, sweat, and tears. So I want you to see that whether you're generating money inside of Amazon's ecosystem or outside of the ecosystem, if you're doing like I am and you're taking external jobs, you could really change what you're getting paid. Because I can tell you there's a huge difference between a $700 PayPal payment and a $20,000 wire transfer. And those have been game-changing for me. Now, I don't do a lot of ghostwriting anymore. In fact, I only do 1 or 2 projects a year, and I mostly do a little bit of author coaching here and there. But it's all because of what's possible with Book Connect. And again, just to remind you guys, everything you see, you can still get all of this stuff. And if you're generating money inside of Amazon, if you want to get clients outside of Amazon, just go to debdrum.com/AmyBC. Don't let this webinar end because the bonuses might just disappear when we get off the call because Debbie's going to go in and start counting and see if it's time to turn off some of the bonuses. So we don't want to do that. We want to give everyone as much access as possible. Now, something else I want to show you guys.
I just want to jump in. Linda, you can't click on the link. You have to go to the web page and type it in. Sorry, that link, for those of you who think that it's not a button, that's just what I need you to do is go to the website, go to the internet and type in debdrum.com/AmyBC. I'm afraid it's not a hot link. Sorry.
Great answer. Now, another question we get a lot, and this is a really good question, is I'm in the physical book space. And me and Debbie both really love different types of physical books. She likes journals and I like coloring books. This is my book, the Giant Adult Coloring Book Collection. Now, you can tell this is the only book that the cover I did. So I apologize for that. Right under my pen name, Art of Coloring Book. That's one of my pen names, so now you know. And what I want you to see is that, first of all, it's in pounds. That's because, as we talked about in other bookstores, I focus on England because English people like Celtic coloring books. That's why I created 2. This book only has 3 reviews. Okay, I want you to see, because you asked earlier, how many reviews do I need? This book was launched September 17th. It's only been out for a short amount of time. All it is my first coloring book did so well, I made a second one. Then I made one that's a combo of them. And as you'll see on the next slide, what's possible with just 3 reviews. Now, this is the best review I've ever received. This is from someone whose name is Ginger Nuts. Already got my attention. And here's what they said. I bought this book for my craft crazy mother for Christmas. She asked me to give the book a 5-star rating on her behalf, a rare thing for her to do with almost anything, by the way. And she looks forward to more of them she can photocopy and color for her own pleasure. It kept her unusually quiet on Christmas Day. Now I know what to give her for Mother's Day and her birthday. So someone wrote, hey, this is the greatest way to put my mom in the corner and shut her up on the holidays. I'm going to do it again on her birthday. Now, I've never gotten a review this amazing, especially by someone with an amazing nickname like Ginger Nuts. And yet, even with a review this crazy, right? It's like, hey, if you want to quiet up your mom, great gift to give her. Let me show you what happens. In that short amount of time, with just 3 reviews, I've generated $844.72. So with physical books, this has actually been a hurdle for me, because every time I send to someone, and I want you to notice what that review said. The review talked about photocopying it. That's because I teach how to do it in my books. I say, hey, you bought this once. You don't have to keep buying it. Photocopy the pages and color those. You can use special paper. I have another book where I teach different techniques. I say, hey, if you want to do this on a canvas, here's how you do it. You use a projector, you line up to the canvas, you trace the lines, and then you color it in. So I teach those techniques. Happy to do it, right? Once you have the images, you have them forever. And also, all of my books come with a download of a PDF, so they can keep printing out the pages, even if they color in and realize I want to do it again. So I have them absolutely covered, and 3 reviews is enough. This is almost triple the cost of our software just from one of my coloring books. Now, it's important to know, this is a collection. So at the same time, Kelter's Coloring Book 1 and 2 are also selling. So I'm not even combining the other 2 versions of this content. This is the same content as 2 other books that are also selling and competing with it. And this is just one of my coloring books. And it's such an amazing platform. So the beauty of Book Connect, and this is where I ran it in public for, is people would say, oh, will you mail me a copy of it? But now you could say, oh, I'll give you a copy of it via PDF. You could print it out and start playing with the designs today. And you could do them over and over again. The software handles it all. So even if you have a physical book, you could send a PDF version, because sending a coloring book, boy, it's at least 20 books. Sometimes it's 30 because this is a bigger one. That's expensive for someone who probably isn't going to review it, because when I do that, when I order through CreateSpace or KDB Print, they don't get the book for a week or 2 because it has to print and go through that system. I have to pay for it, and then I'm waiting ages, and it's hard to track it because they go, oh, it hasn't arrived yet, and I don't really know, and it becomes this kind of hurdle or a mountain you're trying to climb. So this is what you can do if you have a physical book. You're not limited. And again, this is all what you can accomplish just by heading to debdrum.com/AmyBC. Now, guys, I'll be honest, I am covered in sweat. And I was ready to wind things down here. In fact, this is what the last slide as of Monday. And then I sat down, I kind of thought about, you guys have asked the same question now. I realize it's a really common question. And the question is, how do I get those initial first reviewers? How does that work? And I want to explain exactly how this works and get a little bit technical. That's why I made this last, because I want it to be there for you guys. Remember, all those live bonuses are here as long as they answer questions. So you can keep typing them in, because I'm going to answer them again. And so let me show you the beauty of a book swap. I'm going to get real technical here. It's how you get new readers, it's get reviewers, and most importantly, it's how you sift followers. So let's imagine I have a book swap, and me and Debbie both participate. We both say, hey, people, check out our books. And on average, 10 to 20% of the participants take each different book. So if 10,000 people visit the swap page, every author will get 1,000 to 2,000 downloads from new followers. Now, here's what's good. You're gonna lose some followers. I'll lose followers to Debbie, and she'll lose followers to me. But here's the beauty. I'll lose my worst followers, and she'll lose her worst followers, but I gain the best ones. So I give up people who are kind of into me, but I'm not really the right fit for them. And I instead trade them for people that are in love with me. So what you do is, even in addition to growing your list, you actually improve the quality of it, because you have stronger relationship building. Because people go, you know what? Your message resonates with me. And I look, after every event, I look at how many people unsubscribe and leave my list and how many join. And the message I get is, you know what? Of all the books I read, yours resonated with me. And that's what I want to hear. That's what's beautiful. So let me kind of show you a diagram I made. Hopefully you can appreciate this. I'm not the best diagram drawer in the world, but here's what it is. So let's imagine a smaller event, okay? You get together 10 authors who each have 100 followers or email addresses on social media. Really small, right? It's not huge. We can all do that. We can all put together our friends and say, hey, hook me up with 5 friends or 10 friends. We can get to 100. And small, right? And each of them share. We now have 1,000 readers visiting the page. That means that everyone is going to get 100 to 200 new readers. So now you go from a list of 100 followers to 200 to 300. You double or triple your following size. And if you look at the diagram, it's really simple. I mail my free book fan master list, my fan of people who love free books, to the swap page. So that 1,000 is actually going to be much higher. It's going to be bigger and bigger because I'm doing more and more events. I'm doing an event once a month. I'm going to accelerate to opening different genres and start doing events every week. And I'm eventually going to hire a full-time person so that they could do the tech. We could do it more often. Every author sends their 100 people to that swap page, which is the purple rectangle. Then people on the page go, you know what? This is the book I want. That's the book I want, or this is the book I want. So they go to a different Book Connect page for the books they like, and they get added to the Greene mailing lists, those green diamonds. And they're added to the authors that they like. See, people don't take all of the books on the page. They're only going to take the ones that they respond to. They go, this is right for me, this is not. This is right for me, this is not. And that's where the sifting happens. So instead of every author getting every lead and having a mix of people that like them and people that don't, they just get the people that are interested in their messaging. And I can show you kind of what a page actually looks like on the next slide. This is an example of one of my events where we have 16 bestsellers. And under all of it, you can see some of these names might be familiar. This is an event that I'm running next week where I have, this is probably going to get 15 to 20,000 people visiting it. And we're all going to sift, and it helps everyone grow. Because whatever you're looking for, whether you're looking for writing your book on the side or doing collaboration or focusing on self-discipline or learning more about telling stories, you'll find the book that resonates with you. And I can tell each of you look at this, go, some of these I want, some of these I don't, some of these are great for me, some of these are someone I'm already a super fan of, someone amazing. And they choose the book they want. And we only leave these events live for about 2 days, and then the page locks down and all the download pages lock down. So this is what it looks like. And then if you see in the next slide, I'll show you, this is the Book Connect page. This is my flagship book, Serve to Master, and you can see that there's that little button that says, get my book. We do everything and puts it all in place. The color, the cover, the format, and the description is all pulled from Amazon. It creates a level playing field, so you don't have to worry about competing. Because I used to create events where I created my own landing pages, and mine would have flashing arrows, and I would get all the leads, and it wouldn't be fair to everyone else. So I wanted to level the playing field, so everyone's page looks like this. So it's really about which book resonates with each person, and you get targeted followers. Everyone who grabs my book is someone who goes, yeah, you know what? This description, this message, it resonates with me. And so you get really, really targeted followers. And let me show you the type of results you can get, because this is where it's really exciting. So if we go to our next and final slide, these are kind of page views I've generated from my events: 10,716, 13,331, and 16,870 people. How would you like to get your book in front of that many people? And please, Debbie, let's play this video. Please, video work.
Hey, what's up? This is Derek Depker of bestsellersecrets.com. I recently did a giveaway with Jonathan Greene. He organized it, put it together, made it really easy for me. All I needed to do was submit the cover, the link. He got it all set up, coordinated it, and then within about 2 days added approximately 400 plus new email subscribers from participating in this. And these are subscribers that are all relevant in the entrepreneur space. So very happy with my experience. Again, it was incredibly easy. Only took really just a few minutes of my time because Jonathan did such a great job coordinating it. And then when it's all said and done, got hundreds of new subscribers for just a few minutes of investment of my time. So definitely recommend working with Jonathan and anything that he's got going on in terms of giveaways.
Hey, Jonathan, it's Amy Yarnell Carter, author of the Yarnell 7. I just wanted to thank you so much for hosting such a fantastic event. I love seeing authors work together to build more readers. I scored just less than 1,000 on opt-ins in 48 hours and more than 1,000 downloads on Amazon. This was an incredible event. I really appreciate you taking the time to put it together, and I look forward to working again in the future. Bye-bye.
So we recently did a book swap promotion with Jonathan Greene, and I wanted to share my experiences with you. And basically it was a very good, a very pleasant experience for us. First of all, Jonathan was very easy to work with. He communicated well. He put in a tremendous amount of hard work. He responded quickly. So overall, that was very, very good to work with him. And then the book swap itself was just incredibly effective. We have never done list building strategies, a strategy that was even remotely as effective as this book swap. And the really cool thing about it is that there was very little effort involved on our part, but we still got a tremendous amount of new subscribers. So just like incredibly effective strategy. And so I highly recommend working together with Jonathan, and I highly recommend doing those book swaps as a list building strategy.
Can you imagine that? 2,000 new readers, new fans, people ready to leave reviews, all in a single 2-day window. I'm so excited. I want you to see that's how book swaps work. That's how they can help you get those initial readers. So you're on pages, whether you're part of a smaller book swap with people with a following of 10 or 100 people, or as you grow. That's the beauty. You could do an event where you go from 100 to 200 or 300 followers. Then you join an event where everyone has 300. Now you're at 600 or 700. So you can keep going up bigger and bigger events. And we're going to arrange these. Even if you're at a hard zero, we're going to help you get started, because guess what? I have a massive list of people that love free books, just like BookBub does, just like Free Booksy does, and just like my good friend who runs BuckBooks does. All those people who just love free books, and we say, hey, here's our promotion this month. So we help kickstart those and help you grow. This, honestly, it changed my business, and it can change yours. And I want you to notice it went from 400 to 1,000 to 2,000. That's how the events keep getting more and more recent, because I keep getting better and better. This is my craft. This is my art. And I'm so excited to have you guys here. Now, we are winding down. I'll be honest, I'm covered in a very thick layer of sweat. And I am thinking about that shower I'm going to take when we wind down. We've spent almost 2 hours together, guys. That means a lot to me. So if you have any more questions, I see Terry just said, I'm a proud member of Book Connect. Thank you, Deb, Amy, Jonathan. Can't wait to get started. Deb, I'm so glad to have you on the inside. Guys, thank you so much for taking action. You do have a few more moments left to ask any final questions as I try to catch my breath. So any more questions come in, or I missed any, Amy, let me know. And I'm just going to take a quick breath of fresh air.
Well, I just want to thank Debbie and Jonathan. Thank you for all the time you've given us. Thank you for the very generous lifetime access that is unprecedented. And as SG was saying in the comments earlier, a lot of people sell programs and it's all about the money. And it's very clear to me. And the reason why you guys are on my list and other people aren't is you guys are trying to be of service to authors, and you always have been. And I really appreciate it. For those of you who would like to watch the how-to again, you can just go to newshelves.com/bookconnect. Newshelves.com/bookconnect. In about an hour, hour and a half, give me a few minutes to get it up. I'm going to put a replay to this up. But also go to debdrum.com/AmyBC for all the information that Brian and Deb have given you so far today. I want to thank you both for being here. Guys, if you have any questions, you know you can reach out to me. It's Amy at New Shelves. I'm here for you. I will put you in touch with Deb and Jonathan if there's anything that you guys need my help with. You have my word and my participation in this. These guys, they're the real deal. You've got, I vouch for them. So please go to debdrum.com/AmyBC. And if you want to watch a replay, you will be getting an email tomorrow morning from me with your link of exactly how you can find it and how you can watch this again. Debbie, Jonathan, thank you so much for all the time today.
You're welcome. And as you can see, we have a ton of fun, and we love helping our author community, and we're just going to make it better and better for you. So we look forward to seeing you inside.
See you guys later. And as well, debdrum.com/AmyBC. And I'll see you guys very soon here at New Shelves. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.